Dang, man, I get excited every time I hear that intro. It just sends goosebumps down my body, man. But y'all know what it is. Welcome to Walk the Line, where the DML is kicking off another season. Y'all already know what time it is. We here to provide you with those week one golden picks. And I'm about to bring in my co-host, Mr. Tony Romo, on the insight of how he breaks down the game. Like, it's just unmatchable. Ralph Medic, what's going on, man? We in the building.
What's good? What's good?
All right, man. The DML is kicking off another season, so you already know, man. We bringing that heat all season. All right. We gonna lock everybody in with these golden picks. Break down each game. We gonna break down the shit bowl games. Who we think is the shittiest games of the week. We gonna break down the DML game of the week, man. So let's not hold these people up. Let's dive right into it. First up, we got Nasty Noop and the Atlanta Falcons versus Matty Ice and the Buffalo Bills. All right. Right from the gate, man, this is, I'm not going to say a pressure game for Nasty Noop, but he has to come out on the road and just get things going, because this is a team, man, who just season after season has grown accustomed at finishing at the bottom half of that NFC South. And I think this is the matchup right here where he could throw that lymph stick out there to measure up on how his guys are going to compete this season. And he got the Buffalo Bills, who acquired Jalen Ramsey in the offseason to already beef up that already crazy secondary out there. So what's your thoughts on this game, man? Who you think will pull out the victory going into week 2?
Well, kind of like you said with Nuke, I mean, the season's gone on. He really hasn't. Last year, he was a little bit more competitive. But for me, if he's going to make a move, it's got to be this year. That defense is aging, especially the back end of it. But for me, the key is going to be, we know that the Bills got Jalen Ramsey, 99 overall to go. He's got 499 overalls on that team. So he's stacked. He's loaded. And Noop's got all those receivers, but I don't think he's going to be able to throw to him. He's going to have to run the ball. He's going to have to stop Chris Godwin. I just think that the Bills have too much weapons.
See, this is the thing right here, man. If the Falcons could come out and figure out how to get that rushing attack going, I think it will open up the passing attack, because he got guys out there that are stud wide receivers. You got Devin Claiborne, who's a speedster. You got Thurman Carter, and he just drafted Denzel Graham, who's a burner, 95 speed, 94 acceleration. So I feel like if Nasty Noop could come out and get that rushing attack going, and chuck away those 3 to 5 yard games, it will allow him to switch up things as far as sprinkling in the passing attack. But I'm with you on this one, man. Like, the Bills, dog, is stacked across the board on the defense side of the ball, and I don't see the Falcons being able to compete in this matchup. So with my pick, man, I'm locked in with the Atlanta Falcons getting a W going into week 2. Who you going with?
I'm going with the Bills, man. I'm taking the Buffalo Bills.
All right, we locked in. Noop, man, you better come out, man, and play with a little chip on your shoulder. But moving on, we got Washington football team in the bus versus Centaur and the Detroit Lions. I'm going to let you take lead on this one, man. What's your thoughts on this game, and who you think pull out the victory?
Man, I think Bus's biggest issue is going to be scheduling the game. I think it's going to be a cakewalk for him. Rumblings are, though, he's going to start a rookie quarterback. Jeff Wilcox, the 22-year-old out of California, strong arm. I know he likes what he's seen from him in the preseason so far. So it'll be interesting to see if Haskins gets on the bench. But I do like the pick that the Lions made at defensive end with Davidson, another rookie out of UCLA. He's already a 77 overall. He's got 89 power moves. He's big. He's strong. So he could definitely play some defense, but I just think Bus is going to be too much.
See, this is the thing right here, man. Because I feel like the Achilles heel last season for the Bus was he was turning the ball over too much on the offense side of the ball. And this is one of them games, like you said, whereas though you chasing your opponent down, trying to schedule the matchup so you could get a little bit of frustrated. So about time you kicking off the game, you just want to go ham on them. Like, you F the game plan, you just want to come out here and just drop the most amount of points you could put up on the user, So I feel like the Bus is going to have to come out, stick to his game plan after playing duck goose with the Lions, because that's going to be crazy trying to schedule this game. But he's going to have to come out and stick to his game plan, because I feel like with those two factors of chasing your opponent down and finally getting that time and kicking that game off, you just like be so antsy and with a little bit of frustration, you just want to come out and just drop 100 points on him. So I feel like he has to stick to his game plan and don't turn the ball over, because the defense is there. Chase Young is coming off one of the as far by far one of his most productive seasons in the DML. So I feel like he's going to continue that. You got Sweat out there. So I feel like the defense is going to do what they do. As long as the bus can take care of the ball on the offensive side of the ball, don't turn it over, this should be a cakewalk for him. And I like that DN that the Lions drafted. I just feel as though that he needed more offensive weapons. So this is a no-brainer pick for me too. I'm locked in with the bus getting the W going into week 2. Moving on, we got Andy Forrest and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus Vimo and the New England Patriots. Now look, the Patriots had a good season last year. They was clicking on all cylinders. They managed to have, a fair season, better than the ones in the past. But I think they missed the playoffs, I believe, right?
Yes.
They did miss the playoffs, but he showed some brightness for the future. He had a good season, but it's just that he was in a stacked up conference. The AFC is, that's a tough conference over there. NFC is tough, but that AFC, man, that joint be popping like fried fish grease. But what's your thoughts on this game right here, and who you got getting the W going into week 2?
Man, well, old Bino Herp, I played him last year, and he really likes his running back, George Stewart, who's an X factor now. But I felt like, you take that dude out of the game, and you kind of got him. But he did go get a weapon. He did go draft a receiver because I felt that he couldn't stretch the field. He took a 6'1 receiver, Cofield, out of Washington State, 95 speed. This dude is 6'1. So now he's got somebody that can take the top off the defense. But my questionable move is he signed Russell Wilson in the offseason. He has young gun Sean Cameron back there. I didn't think quarterback was the issue, especially at this point in Russell Wilson's career. He's already going to be 37 years old. I don't understand that move, but I do like that receiver that he drafted. So I'm going to go out on a limb here, and I'm going to take Bino and the Patriots.
See, now this is the thing right now. I'm going to piggyback off of something that you just said. Because I played the Patriots last season, and if you could shut down their run game, it's like they're running around on the offense side of the ball like a chicken with their head cut off. Like they can't seem to figure out how to get the ball up the field. I feel as though that he's going to have to open up his playbook. Especially in this matchup right here, he's going to have to figure out how to stop the Tampa Bay Buccaneers passing attack. Because these guys be slinging the rock all across the field. You got O.J. Howard. You got my man Jimmy Wilford at the running back, who he picked up off a practice squad, who just was one of those diamonds in the rough that just blew up in the DML. He has Justin Judge, who's a speedster. And the list just goes on for how much talent that this Tampa Bay Buccaneers team has. So if the Patriots can figure out how to open up their playbook and utilize more of their weapons on the offense side of the ball, this should be a good game. However, I got to go with my gut, and my gut is telling me that the Bucs is going to be too much for the Patriots in this matchup, so I'm locking with the Buccaneers getting a W going into week 2. Now, you said you was locking with the Bucs too, right?
No. I'm going out on a limb. I got the Pats.
We split ways. All right, Mr. To see how this game going to turn out, man. Moving on, we got the OG Taz and the Cincinnati Bengals versus Tyreek and the Miami Dolphins. Now, this is it's going to be a fun matchup to watch because the Dolphins is coming off of a season and missing the postseason, which, that's mind-boggling when you talk about Tyreek and the Miami Dolphins. But I feel like it was just one of those seasons where the Dolphins was just trying to figure things out. He drafted a rookie wide receiver who showed some bright spots in the combine, showed that he could potentially be that number one or that top tier wide receiver who can cause a lot of attention to certain defenses. But I like what the Bengals is doing, man. Even though the Bengals has been having losing seasons, this is the team who's going to come out each week and just compete. It don't matter if these dudes are sitting at 0-13, they're going to come out each week with the mindset of we're trying to secure this W. And I feel like this is going to be a way tougher matchup for the Dolphins than what everyone thinks. But I'm interested in your thought on this game and who you think is going to pull out the W going into week 2.
Man, I like Taz's roster. He's been building it. He's been developing players. He's got a quarterback. The problem is he just turns the ball over. But at the end of last season, he figured something out. If you remember, he beat Sweets 99 or Goat 99, as I call him. He was able to hand him that L. He did make some good moves. Tight. I really like that safety that he drafted, McIntosh. 88 speed, 6'2". But I have a feeling, like you said, this is going to be a little closer than we think, especially if Taz doesn't turn over the ball, because he's going to put points on the board. So Ty is going to have to score, kind of get out of his element. But he's been drafting receivers. He's been throwing the ball more. And I know he's going to want to use that new toy, Juan Weber, that he's got out of Alabama. I know he's going to want to sling that rock too. So he's also got that receiver Peters you were talking about. Should be a good game.
And my thing is with the Bengals, and I feel like sometimes watching Taz play, he kind of gets away from what's working. If Joe Mixon, like I seen some games last season where Joe Mixon was running the rock very well, and he was able to control the clock, control the tempo of the game with Joe Mixon, and he'd just start coming out passing for no apparent reason. So I feel like if Taz could come out and just stick to what works, if it ain't broke, don't try to fix it. And I feel like you need to put the game on Joe Mixon's shoulders instead of Joe Burrow, because sometimes you put your offense in bad situations when you're trying to force the ball downfield. But I like the Bengals, man, but I'm going to go with Titan in this one. I'm locked in with the Dolphins at home, feeding off that Miami energy, that beautiful weather. So I'm locked in with the Dolphins, getting a W at home. Who you going with?
I'm going with the Dolphins too. I think in the end, Ty will just be a little too much for Taz.
All right, man. Let's see, man. We got some good matchups in this week 1, man. We got some good matchups. But moving on, we got next up, we have, and by far what I think is the week 1 shit bowl, which is crazy because we just kicked off the season. But this right here, man, y'all know what it is, man. It's the shit bowl game. We got HBO and the Las Vegas Raiders versus Skill Trade and the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, do you feel like we being fair about calling this the shit bowl game without even seeing what these guys is going to bring to the table this season?
I do. I'm just real disappointed in both of these teams. I feel that neither one of them really got better in the offseason. The Steelers traded away Ramsey. HBO, I'm trying to figure out what he did in the draft and in the offseason. I don't think either team got better. And then you're the Steelers. You make a trade last season for Wentz, trade away a young quarterback that's really nice, and now you don't even have Wentz. You got 33-year-old Garoppolo back there. I don't understand.
See, this is the thing right here, right? Which was a little bit like I was lost, as they say. Like my head was in the cloud when I seen the Steelers. Okay, I understand it probably was a money move, but you let Juju Smith-Schuster walk, right? Then you go out, you draft a rookie wide receiver. Yeah, I understand, okay? Yeah, sometimes, money problems, money issues. But why not, in my opinion, I'm pretty sure they got the funds out there, because I haven't seen them sign a major contract because they traded away their star rookie quarterback the previous season. This season, you trade away Ramsey. So who's out there that you're signing to these large contracts that's soaking up your cap and your money? So why not franchise tag? And this just like I said, once again, you can't tell nobody how to run an organization. Why not franchise tag Juju, have him mold this young wide receiver for a year or a season, instead of forcing this rookie wide receiver into a tough role in a tough division at that, who by far every secondary out there in that division is loaded, which could probably kill this young man's career before he even gets started. But it's just mind-boggling. Sometimes I put a question mark on some of the organization moves that guys make. But let's just talk about the game. We ain't gonna talk about all that the off-field stuff. But yeah, I believe this is a shit bowl game. We're being fair because these are two teams I feel like that are letting their cities down season after season after season. They might as well start giving the tickets out for free at both stadiums, to be honest, because the Steelers seem to be picking first every season. And this roster is loaded. When you got Devin Bush, my main man, Mr. Devin Bush himself, paired with Devin White. Then you had Jalen Ramsey. Then you had Terrell Edmonds. What more did you like? What more did you need? Like, what more do you need? So I think this game is just going to be one of those games where we're going to see a lot of deep routes from HBO with Ruggs, of course. It don't matter how much the cool down is affecting your play calling. He's always going to put Ruggs on a streak route or a slant. And then the Steelers are going to come out, put their own foot in their mouth like they do every season. And it's going to come down to who has the ball last. But if I had to make a pick, I'm gonna go with the Steelers on this one. I'm gonna ride with the Steelers because I feel like he plays the game a little bit more patient than HBO. Because HBO just be out there just slinging a rock. Oh my god! But I'm gonna go with the Steelers in this matchup, getting the W going into week 2. Even though they traded Jalen Ramsey away and let Juju Smith-Schuster walk for practically nothing. What's your thoughts on who you going with?
And just for that reason alone, no Ramsey. I don't see anybody that can shut down Ruggs. I'm going with H-Bo.
Oh man, H-Bo is about to be smiling from ear to ear when you hear this show. Moving on, man, we got Solomon Kane and the Chicago Bears versus Darkness and the Minnesota Vikings. All right, can we label this the loaf game of the week?
I think it can. I think it's definitely going to be a late game.
All right, so like, this is another game right here where it's going to come down to the patience of hawking your opponent down for a time to play. But the Bears, man, I like I like a couple things from his organization. I like the season that he's coming off of. He made his first playoff appearance this cycle. I like the name that he has. His @ name inside of the group chat. I believe is underestimated. I like the vibe that I'm getting from the Chicago Bears team. Even though he puts 101 pieces of equipment on all of his players. I think the kicker even got an arm brace on. So I just like what I'm seeing from the Chicago Bears, man. They coming in to a first season. They get opponent that they know that they can beat. So I marked this up as I am gonna waste some time on this. So I marked this up as an easy W for the Chicago Bears, feeding off of that momentum of last season and building on top of it. What's your thoughts on this game and who you going with?
Same thing. He felt like he was disrespected last season, picking him to go and finish towards the bottom of that division, and he showed out. So kudos to the Bears and all those guys wearing all that equipment. You showed up and showed out, and I do it again. Let's see if you can do it again for another season. I do like the pick that he made at left outside linebacker Junior Watson, 85 speed, 90 excel. He's got him wearing Khalil Mack's old number, so he better show out. As for the Vikings, I don't understand what he's doing. He's got a defense that's aging. Your left end and right end, Danielle Hunter and them boys, they're already 30. Your linebackers are aging, minus that middle linebacker. And he goes out and drafts a receiver. I don't understand it. But like you said, this is an easy dub for the Bears.
Moving on, we got Butters and the New Orleans Saints versus C-Rob and the Carolina Panthers. Yo, the Panthers has been quiet this whole cycle. Like, as far as in the chat, as far as, producing, he's been real quiet. But this is a division game. This right here is going to be an interesting matchup. Because how this division is, these are the W's, whether you facing an easy opponent or the Tampa Bay Bucks who've been running this division from start to now. I think that the Saints coming off of the situation that they just had to overcome with the death penalty, dropping all the top players, that they're in a better position than what I thought. He still got some talent on the offensive side of the ball. He struggled a little bit last season, but the big question mark to me is he had 2 first-round picks this offseason, and were they both computer picks, or I believe he drafted another running back and a tight end?
Yeah, I'm not sure if they were. I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah, so I don't see how that's going to help them, because he already has a stud tight end who I feel like the Carolina Panthers defense struggles against covering. So I would be glad to see the offensive game plan that the Saints come out with in this matchup. But they're on the road. They're facing the Carolina Panthers team, who by far to me is the ghost team of the DML this cycle. So I'm going to just go with my gut on this one, man. I feel like the Saints is going to come out with a solid offensive game plan and execute on all cylinders and get the W going into week 2. What's your thoughts on the game? Who you going with?
Well, kind of the same thing. It took the Saints a minute to kind of recover from that death penalty. He made the trade with H-Bo for that young quarterback. He's slowly getting pieces back together. But this is an early division game. These guys should know each other well. But I'm going to go with the Panthers. C-Rob's team is finally healthy, got all his own line back together, got McCaffrey back there. He's healthy. I think this season is a now or never for Polygon Rob. I really do. So I got the Panthers.
All right, so we split ways on that. Moving on, we got JB and the Houston Texans versus your Indianapolis Colts. I want to know, what's your thoughts on this game? because this is, like you said, this is a division matchup right here. This is a W that I'm pretty sure you want to start off with from the gate to keep you in the head of the division crown. So, what do you guys got to do as far as executing this game to make sure that you get the W?
I think for both of us, it's turnovers. Every time I play JB, I'm thinking Watson's going to throw me a few. I like to run the ball, control the pace of the game. So, once again, if I think I could do that, I'll be all right. I'm really excited to see what this defensive end Dawkins does. That I drafted 3 overall. He's an X factor, so I'm just excited to get after them Texans.
This is the thing right here, like you said, man. Deshaun Watson, all right, just to break down a couple things, man. He's one of those dual threat quarterbacks who can extend plays, whether it's with his legs or his arm. So I feel like the thing with JB, man, what he has to understand, I find myself struggling with this also. Sometimes, man, you just gotta tuck that ball, man, and just take off with Deshaun Watson. You gotta make defenses actually have to come out and fear this guy, especially when you got somebody in the backfield like Nick Chubb, who can by far get you 4 to 5 yards per carry. So if you can figure out how to sprinkle in a couple scramble plays with Deshaun Watson, man, I think that this will elevate the Houston Texans offense and also to cut down some of those turnovers, because 49 interceptions on the season is going to always put your team in a bad situation, in a bad predicament, and it's not going to, like, y'all not going to never come out on top of that. So I feel as though in this matchup, it's going to come into, like you said, who can take care of the ball the best. Both of you guys are coming off of not a great season, especially the Texans, drafting number 2 overall. So I feel like this is gonna be an interesting game. I'm gonna go with it's gonna be a good game. It's gonna be a good game. But I might have to go with the Texans on this one, because I feel like Deshaun Watson is going to be the X factor in this game, man. I feel like Deshaun Watson is going to be the guy he's going to listen to what I'm telling him to do, and Deshaun is going to extend them plays with his legs and his arm, which is going to force guys to have to come off of their receivers to worry about Deshaun getting down the field for an extra 5 to 6 yards. Oh, I'm pretty sure you're not picking against yourself, so.
Yeah, I'm going with myself.
All right, man. It's going to be a good game right here. Moving on. Do we got another nominated shitbowl game of week 1?
And potential loaf number 2 of the week.
Oh my God! How you the shit bowl game and the potential loaf? That's just bad. So we got shit loaf. That's what we gonna call it. I'm gonna call it shit loaf. But we got the Giants, the big homie in the New York Giants versus Flair and the Los Angeles Rams. Now this right here, of course, Flair is gonna say he the GOAT of the DML, but this team, man, the Rams, they are who we thought they are. Because it's just season after season after season. How I look at it is Flair's going to come out and play you tough the first 3 minutes of the first quarter, and then after that it just goes down the drain. What's your thoughts on this game, and who you think going to secure the W?
Man, Flair's the homie. Every season it seems like he starts off good and hot, or at least average, and then he fizzles out towards the end of the season. So I know he's going to come out swinging. I know he's going to use my boy JT back there, superstar now. He does have a nice young nucleus here, but so do the Giants. The Giants have a nice team, and he drafted by need. His running backs were aging a little bit, and he went out, and I can't even pronounce homeboy's name, but he took the rookie out of Oregon State. 89 speed, but with some development, he could probably kick that up to 90. But what I really like is that defensive tackle that he took, Hobson, 78 overall, 21, 6'3", 300. I mean, dude's got the overhang, you know what I mean? Really nice roster, but what is he going to do with it? I think experts out for blood. Football team's always going to be tough. KP, he's going to run a track meet over there. So where did the Giants fit in this year in that division? I don't know.
Yeah, and like you said, man, the roster, if you look on paper, the roster is loaded. But the thing to me is, that's going to have to work is this defense, man. Somebody's gonna have to step up. Like TJ Watt, don't get me wrong. Okay, I understand. You trade away a franchise player like Saquon Barkley. In return, you had the guys who ever come in return has to elevate your team. And I feel like, man, TJ Watt has not lived up to the hype. Fitzpatrick, even though he's boosting up with his overall, I feel like he has not lived up to what was dished out for him. So these guys are going to have to step up. Evan Ingram on the offensive side of the ball. He's one of those guys who I feel like is going to have to step up. There's no more living back there in the shadows. These guys with these big names are going to have to step up to at least make this New York Giants team competitive in the division. 'Cause that's the first thing you should be focused on. Don't think about playoffs. Don't think about Super Bowls. Don't think about your names up in the raft. You can't think about that. The first thing you have to lock in on is competing within your division. Like you said, Washington football team is going to come out season after season playing top high level football. Expert after coming off of the season that he had, I believe he's going to be looking back for a bounce back season. KP, we already know what he's doing out there with those Philadelphia Eagles. So you're going to have to figure out how to compete with these guys, because if you can't come out and compete within your division, it's going to be a very long season, especially when you got a LA Rams team who you're going to visit on the road who has been struggling. So this right here will be the test. And I understand, it's a Rams team, but like you said, if you sleep on Flair, he will squeak out the W. So with my pick, after saying all that, I'm going to go with the big homie, with me setting some fire underneath his ass, TJ Watt coming out balling, Jabril Peppers, Fitzpatrick, Evan Ingram. Like, y'all guys got to get it together, man. I'm just excited to see what this team going to do. Who you going with on this game?
I'm going with the homie Flair, man. I think he's going to come out and pound that rock with JT at least 30 times. I'm going with the Rams.
All right, we're going to see. Moving on, we got Expert in the Dallas Cowboys versus Bruce in those San Francisco 49ers. Now, this game right here is going to be good. This could have easily by far been a potential game of the week. With Expert coming off of an 8-8 season, getting bounced he got bounced in the divisional round in the playoffs after Dak Prescott got hurt and a couple of his guys got hurt. I feel like this is going to be that season when he's coming out for vengeance. But they let go of that. Amari Cooper was let go. Let him walk to free agency. What kind of mindset or what's your input on this Dallas Cowboys organization coming into this season?
I think he's going to be solid. I mean, and then you mentioned Cooper leaving, but Cooper was 31, wanted some paper.
Mm-hmm.
So then Expert goes on and go ahead and get my boy Juju. 28 years old, 4-year deal. Now you got Juju and Lamb and Gallup, and Zeke is still a monster, 97 overall. Still got Dak Prescott. So the offense is still there. And then you got Bruce on the other end of this, kind of went a little older as well. He went out there and signed Carson Wentz. He was not happy with the quarterback situation last year. Got a couple nice older backs in Fournette and Kamara. I think this is going to be a great back and forth game. It's going to come down to maybe who has the ball last or the first one to make a mistake.
And I think that it's going to come down, with my opinion, it's going to come down to Kim Bruce secondary force Dak to make the calls, force Dak to force the ball into double coverage or just turn the ball over, because when you got somebody like Ezekiel Elliott back there, you already got to focus in on. It's just sometimes you tend to zero out and your secondary tends to fall asleep, and you got, like you said, a guy like Juju Smith-Schuster, CeeDee Lamb, who would just speed right past you. So I feel like Bruce is going to have to come out and be on his A game as far as on the defense side of the ball. Now, my question to you is, who do you feel like will be more of a X factor in this game as far as the additional pickups to the team? Juju Smith-Schuster or Carson Wentz?
I think it's going to be Carson Wentz, because as Dallas, they have other weapons. He has other places he can go, as does Bruce. But Carson Wentz, this is going to be his first game officially with the team. What is he going to do? Is Bruce going to try and pound the rock and get him to settle in? Or is Bruce going to come out slinging it? That's going to be the X factor for me.
All right, and I'm locked in with you too, man. I feel like Carson Wentz is going to have to show out. Show up and show out, because one thing about those San Francisco 49er fans, man, they are by far, I'm not going to say worse than my Philadelphia Eagles fan, but when you brought into his organization, they want you to produce. So I feel like the pressure is definitely going to be on Carson Wentz. But with my pick, I'm going to be locked in with the Dallas Cowboys. I feel like Expert is going to enter this season, man, with a huge chip on his shoulder, man. Huge chip on his shoulder. So who you going with?
I'm going to go, it's a coin flip, but I do think that Expert is going to be on his revenge tour, so I'm going to go with the Cowboys.
All right, man. We locked in with the Dallas Cowboys getting the W. Moving on, we got my Arizona Cardinals versus King Vitamin and the Seattle Seahawks. This dude, man, he mopped the floor with me last season, man. He definitely tore my team up. But it's a new season, and I feel like the first thing, the number one, because when you grow to playing the guy season after season after season, is like you're seeing the same exact thing. I want to bring something new to the table. Just being honest, man. I'm gonna have to open up my playbook, explore my playbook, and just sprinkle some new things in there. Because the Seattle Seahawks, they're stacked on both sides of the ball. You got DK Metcalf. I forget the other wide receiver name out there who is a 97 speed. Then to throw things into the equation, you have a speed burst running back. So this team is just fast all over the field on the offense side of the ball, and that defense is tough too. So I'm definitely going to come out, add some new things to my play calling, and just try to keep the Seattle Seahawks defense unbalanced and don't turn the ball over. Because this is, like I said, this is a tough team with him adding in those additional pieces and building those guys up. But I'm locked in with my team, man. I'm going with the Cards on this, definitely. I'm never picking against myself. But what's your thoughts on this game? Who you going with?
Well, I still like your team. You still got speed at receiver. You still got old boy back there at quarterback. You still have all the pieces that make your team go. But like you said, it comes down to turnover. And I think you're going to have to kind of play a balanced attack. I don't think you're going to be able to just force it deep nonstop because he does have some speed back there. I think his weakness is in the linebacker and defensive line area. You know, his middle linebackers are kind of weak, as are his left outside linebackers. He does have Allen in the middle. Who's really nice, but those linebackers and defensive ends, I think you can kind of balance it out between running, short intermediate game, and then maybe take the top off the defense. But if you can play a balanced attack, I do like your chances, especially since Nuke said the flipping is gone, because this is the flipper, King Flipper.
So who you going with, man? You locked in with the Cardinals and the Seahawks?
I'm going with the Cards, man.
All right, moving on. We got Stelios and the Los Angeles Chargers versus KP and the Philadelphia Eagles. Did he get Bosa out of LA, or did nobody bite on that the Bosa beat?
I think it was all hearsay. I think it was, he's a professional salesman. I think he was trying to sell him, but it didn't happen.
Yeah, we actually had a deal locked in, but last minute, I'm not gonna lie, man. I own up to my shit. I just didn't. I couldn't. I just couldn't make the move. I just couldn't push the button. But this is the thing about this Chargers team, man. I like this Chargers team. I like it. I think if he would have got rid of Bosa, his defense would have became a mediocre defense, because you need that pass rush. Okay, it makes things easier on his linebackers, and of course on his secondary. However, I think one thing is going to be exposed in this game, and that's the lack of speed in his secondary, because KP's one of those guys who's going to chuck that ball downfield. And I feel as though that the Chargers does not have enough speed in this. If he can figure out how to get pressure, because I believe KP's going to be starting Jalen Hurts in this matchup, correct? Hurts in this matchup, right? So I feel as though that if he could get pressure and expose that 88 throw power, his secondary should be back there ready to eat. But I'm going to go with stick skills on this one, and I feel like by far the Chargers does not add up to the level of competition that KP has when it comes to stick skills. So with my pick, I'm going with those Philadelphia Eagles coming out, getting the W. Eagle fans. What's your thoughts on this game? Who you going with?
Man, I feel like both of these teams, just the way that they're built, you kind of got some youth, kind of got some age. He did add some speed back there at the cornerback position. He's got David Long. He added Motley, I think, who's got 91 speed, and cornerback Barber out of Florida State, who's got 94 speed. But, both of these guys, the whole league knows where they're going. Styles is going to go to Forbes or Claypool.
Mm-hmm.
KP and the Eagles is going to go to that now converted tight end, Conley. So we'll see what happens. I think it's going to be a shootout. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game, but I'm taking the Eagles.
All right, moving on. We got under 2 rated in the Jacksonville Jaguars versus Marlowe and the New York Jets. Now, this game right here, both of these guys coming off of good seasons. Tip my hat off to them. So, which team do you feel like that momentum hit coming into this season, the Jets or the Jaguars?
Strength. Under's greatest strength of his loaded with superstars and X factors. It's just loaded. He's got those nice receivers. He's got Torrance out of the backfield that he's been in. And then he's been using all these different courses with him. I think he came out of nowhere last year. I think this is going to be strength on strength, and it's going to determine the winner is going to be determined who doesn't turn the ball over and who dominates time of possession. Under loves to control the ball and run it. He does not want to get into a passing,
Yeah, so I gotta go with you on that one. I feel as though that this Jacksonville Jaguars team and this New York Jets team is both built on defense. Their defense controls the game, puts their offense in the best position. So I feel like it's going to come down to which offense just can cabinet to them. And I like both of these teams, man, because these are two organizations who came into this cycle with nothing. And they're just managing their building guys up through the draft. And I feel like they're doing things the right way. How Jacksonville Jaguars just has more than enough to get them over the finish line to secure this W. Crazy one. But it's always that but. If the Jets can figure out how to eliminate the Jacksonville Jaguars rushing attack and make him a pass first team, I think he can secure the W. And my gut is telling me to go with the Jacksonville Jaguars, even though I said what I said, getting the W going into week 2. What's your thoughts? Who are you going with?
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Jags as well. I think it's week 1. Everybody's going to be feeling each other out, and that bodes well for under. He's going to control the ball, run it, and get some turnovers on defense. I'm going with the Jags.
All right, moving on. We got Eddie and those Baltimore Ravens versus the Schemer and the Tennessee Titans. Now, in this matchup, if Eddie was to tell it, he says Schemer plays him tough every single time. And I tuned into one of their games. Even though Eddie, beat the brakes off of him, it was tough the first 2 quarters. But I feel like the Titans is coming in to this matchup as the same team that they were last season. Once guys figured out how to shut down Derrick Henry, it just pretty much, like I said before, he's an offense that just seems to be like a chicken with his head cut off, running around trying to figure things out. So I think that I'm not gonna waste no time on this. I think Lamar Jackson, Hollywood Brown is going to show up in this one, putting up big numbers, being that high-powered dual threat duo, and winning this one by, I'm gonna say, at least 10 plus points. Who you going with on this game, and what's your thoughts?
Man, I mean, this is a simple choice. I'm going with them Ravens. Schema changed his playbook. I don't understand why. He's just going to run the same things. He's made some questionable moves, but I think the biggest factor is his team is aging. Henry's 31 now. Michael Thomas is regressing, 32. He signed Mike Evans, 32. A lot of age, a lot of holes on this team. He trades his picks. But kind of like you said, he is who he is. He's going to call those same plays. He's going to do what he does. And then he's going to worry about me on Twitter. I didn't even know he was tweeting about me. But Schemer, you need to worry about yourself and quit dreaming about me. That's all you need to do. But I'm going to tell you right now, the line on this game is 30 points. Ravens by 30.
Dang, that's crazy. It sounds like that's a crazy line. But listen, I'm just saying, when you playing against those Baltimore Ravens, man, you got to expect the line to be high. But moving on, we got SJ and the Kansas City Chiefs versus Sweets and those Denver Broncos. This game right here is going to be offense. Whenever you mention Patrick Mahomes, okay, what's my man name? Tyreek Hill. You got that fast, crazy tight end, man, that I want so bad. And I be in Sweet's DM, man. Like, listen, just send him to me, please. You got Judy. You got the list just goes on for so much offensive talent that's going to be on the field, in this matchup. But I feel like SJ, man, his defense is his Achilles heel. Like, they can't seem to get stops, and that just keeps your offense on the field. And when you got Patrick Mahomes, man, coming out there slinging the ball 14 to 15 plus times a game, man, that's just wear and tears on your team. I feel like his defense is going to have to figure out how to stop this Denver Broncos offense, okay? You got to get off the field on third down, okay? You got to make some stops. You got to call some turnovers, because it don't matter how much offense you have. If your defense cannot get off of the field, my fault. Yeah, get off the field, and your offense is just like playing catch up every single game or getting into a shootout every single game. that's a bad thing, man. That's a bad thing. So I feel like the Chiefs is gonna have to come out and play better on the defense side of the ball versus the offense. The offense is there. Now let's talk about these Broncos, man. It's nothing that you can talk wrong about these Broncos. Uh, Even when they come out and they put up 36 points, and sometimes we say that was a bad game. That's a good game for some, So I feel like it's nothing that the Broncos have to do different. Um, I'm pretty sure that he would have liked to finish better than where he finished that last season. But I feel like this is like expert. This is a game and this is a season of revenge. For the Broncos to come back and just get back into the right direction, because I feel like they took a break last season. But I'm locked in. I'm locked in with the Chiefs on this one. I'm gonna go in a different direction on this because I feel like he's gonna listen to the show and just feed off of a different type of energy entering this matchup. So I'm gonna go with the Chiefs, getting a W, going into week 2. What's your thoughts on this game and who you going with?
Man, where you called it. Sweets, you turn into a stream, and he's complaining and yelling like he's down 30 and he's up by 28. So, but for me, it comes down to there's tons of talent on both sides of the ball of these teams. But Sweets is one of those users that he's going to make you play defense. You can't predict what he's going to do. If you think he's going to run, he's going to pass. He calls different plays. I mean, he is a great play caller. And to me, that's going to be the difference. I'm going with the Broncos.
All right, man. So y'all got all of the week 1 games. Y'all got the shit bowl games. Let's dive into the DML week 1 game of the week. And y'all already know when this game popped up on a weekly card, y'all already know this was the game of the week. We got the Super Bowl 50 rematch between Niner Tom and it was Cleveland Browns versus Emerald and it was Green Bay Packers. Now, one of the most clutch plays in DML history, outside of one, but I'm gonna say it was sort of a clutch game when SJ came back on Mr. Hot Tub multi-banner himself, and Hot Tub was having a meltdown. But seeing the Packers, okay, I want your input on this, your thoughts. When you were seeing that the Packers had to kick a 50-plus yard field goal, okay, against the wind for the game, all right, ice kicker on. Did you think he was going to make that kick?
Man, I honestly didn't know what to think. I mean, he sat there for a minute, screens moving. But, say what you want about that user in Green Bay, but he is one of the greatest users in the dynasty. He knows what he's doing. So, of course, he's going to make that kick.
Yo, I'm going to be honest, man. I was watching the kick, right? This how exciting this Super Bowl was. And I believe somebody posted in the chat, they said, I guarantee you the real life Super Bowl won't live up to the hype of that game. Yo, that game was electrifying, man. It was crazy. And when I seen Emerald come up to that point of making that field goal, right? And when he kicked the ball, when he was sitting there adjusting the meter, moving it around, I'm like, yeah, man, he's not gonna make this. And then when I seen him kick it, I was like, you gotta be fucking shitting me, man. That right there just stamped his name outside of the banners, outside of the great GM moves, stamped his name in the DML history of one of the best users in the DML to date, So that was just crazy. But let's dive into this game, man. What more do you feel like these guys can bring to the table, man? After seeing a game like that, man, what is the mindset of these guys coming to this matchup? Like, what more can they bring to the table to make this game right here, even though it's a week 1 game, because I'm pretty sure both guys want to secure this W, to live up to the hype of that Super Bowl? What can they do? Like can they bring anything different to the table to make our eyes be glued to the screen?
I think it's going to be tough to top the hype that Super Bowl game had, just because it is a week 1 game.
Mm-hmm.
But I agree with what you said. Both of them want to win this game, but I think this game is more important to the Browns. And the only reason is because if Embro does slip up in this game, he can recover. Whereas we had 2 14-2 teams practically last year in that AFC North. One loss can make you or break you, especially with Addy and Niner time in that division. So I think this game has a little bit more meaning to the Browns.
Mm-hmm. So this is the thing that I'm looking at in this matchup, okay? You got Darwin Favors coming off a rookie season, impressive numbers all across the board, all right? Entering his second season. This guy, the pressure is on. Okay, because when you're coming off of a rookie season with the numbers that he put up, 70 touchdowns, 70 touchdowns. Okay, that, and then you got the team that you just lost to in the Super Bowl. That I feel like once again, I'm just stating my facts that I seen. I feel like he cost them the game. Okay, he would have sprinkled a little bit of man because he overthrew a couple passes in that clutch time, clutch moments. So I feel like this is his redemption game, even though it's only week one. This is your redemption game to show that them jitters has been shooken off. You have put this game right here in your rear view mirrors, and you're ready to compete again. Okay, because I feel like the pressure is on this young man. But if I had to make a pick, I'm gonna have to go with the Browns on this one. Okay, because when it comes to just watching how the Packers start off out the gate, sometimes they start off a little sluggish. And their sluggish is coming out putting up 41 points and losing by 3. But which is mind-boggling, but that's their sluggish. I feel like that they start off a little bit, on the fences a little bit. So I feel like the Browns is going to get this W and get things going in the right momentum, helping him to finish at the top of that division, man. Because like you said, we had 14 and 2 teams in the AFC last year, which is crazy. The Browns and the Ravens. So I feel like the Browns, this is a must-win for him out the gate. Who you going with in this game?
Man, the only reason that I'm making the pick the way that I'm going is because the same issue is going to be there. I agree. I watched that game, and I think the young quarterback kind of felt the heat favors. But I think the reason he felt it is because that O-line is not a strength. That center, that right guard, that right tackle leave a lot to be desired. And nothing's changed from that point. So, battle of the trenches, pressure in the face of that quarterback, I'm going with the Packers.
All right, man. So I'm going to take the Browns in this one. And as far as my X Factor player who I think is going to come out and impact this game to help the Browns secure the W. Now, you picked the Browns also. So what I want you to do is give me your impact player on who you think is going to put the Packers in the best position to secure this W. Now, I'm going to go first. I think that, like I said, I think Darwin Favors is the guy who's going to have to come out and secure this W just to get his momentum going in the right way. You come off of a season with 5,399 passing yards. Okay, 70 passing touchdown with only throwing 38 INTs. Come on, young fella. I feel like this is the game whereas though you can show the DML like that you have stricken all those jitters, all those rookie mistakes, and you put them in your rearview mirror and you're ready to continue to level up and compete in the DML, man. So I think that this guy is going to be the X factor in this game to help the Browns secure the W. Now, who is your Green Bay Packers X factor?
I'm going with Kenny Clark, man. I think he's going to have to anchor that defensive line, get pressure on that mediocre offensive line of the Browns, and cause havoc.
All right, man. So y'all got all the week 1 game, all week 1 golden picks. I got the shit bowl games. I got the DML week 1 breakdown of the game of the week. I got our X Factor players on who we think is going to secure the W. Drop a comment, man. Let us know who you think is those golden picks. Who you think could potentially be the shit bowl game and the DML game of the week. Man, I'm your host, OG Chris Murray, and Ralph O'Matic. It's always a pleasure jumping on the show, doing this with you, man. We out.